Okay, so the idea here is kind of simple in the sense that the implementation doesn't require so much interaction with XAF. The idea here is first in XAF, we need to create schedules to tell when is the job going to run and any parameters that we need for the job. In the most simple case, you just need something like an expression, for example. These are cron expressions. We can create a UI to do the expression like graphically, but you can Google like cron expression every 15 seconds, every 30 seconds, every like 2 minutes. For example, if I change this to 30, the jobs will change to run every 30 seconds. So in here, I only have one small screen for the details on each time that the task was executed. Here we can add more information. I just set the date, and if it was successful, we can add any login for the errors also if some errors are happening. And the idea here is we create the cron expression, which will tell how often this should run. And the cron expressions can go really crazy. You can tell it, run it the first of the month, only if the first day of the month is Thursday, for example. They can go really crazy, but that's the most standard actual way to handle them. Then we need to register classes which will define job types. For example, a job type can be sending an email, updating records on the database, and whatever. So for each job type, we should create basically an entry in job types here and tell which is the class that is going to be used for that. And after that, here we have the control for the scheduler. We can start it, stop it, and restart it, which reload the task again. And regarding the code side, this is basically a service. So here we have like all the implementation on this folder. This is a hosted service, which means that will run on
a separate thread or separate process.
Yeah, it's the same executable, but it's totally different thread from the application. So this can crash and the application will continue running, or the application can crash and this will continue running. They are just basically in the same code base, but they are not related to each other. If one fails, the other one will continue working. This type of processes gets restarted by .NET. So if it crashes, it will like spin up a new process, and so the job will continue executing. So the jobs are kind of simple in the sense that we created a base job with Javier, and then we create a execute method that is overridable. So whatever we need to do that is complex, we just write it in this part. In the base class, you can see like something more detailed. In here we said which type of stuff we want to access. We can give them access just to some of the objects or to all of them. Then we can also skip it and use XPO if you want to do it later. But we can use SAF or XPO directly. Both are basically the same. And just some other thing that is important here, that if the job is either too long or too often, we disallow concurrent execution, which means that if it has not finished and it's time for it to run again, it will not run until the next time it should run. So beside that, it's just like a service for the startup. So here we register the job factory, the schedule factory, and the type of jobs. And why we pick up these Quartz instead of Hangfire? Just because we have like a lot of implementations of Quartz and they work like a charm. I mean, they are like a Swiss.
No, and also